it comes. Oh my goodness. In your life have you seen anything like that? There it is. A win for the ages. Is it his time?
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Putting It Straight podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything golf. I'm your host, Matthew Filsend, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Simon Dainter and Tom Palmer. How are we doing, lads? You okay?
Yeah, all good, mate. All
mate.
good.
Even better now you called us wonderful. That's fantastic.
Well, I thought, I'd try and spruce it up a little bit and really try and give you that nice morale at the start of the podcast, get you into it,
Yeah, this is nice.
Good.
Well,
I don't get too used to it though, because the wonderful's depending on your performance, so we'll leave it at that.
Right, okay. Yes, boss.
Perfect. So again, we've got a really interesting podcast ahead of us today. Lots to talk about. We'll be starting off with a little review of the WGC that we've just had at the concession. We've got a bit of Tiger talk after his crash last week, as well as some questions from some listeners and a look ahead to next week's Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill, which promises to be another really good event on the PGA Tour. So if we dive straight into the review of last week, really interesting tournament.
Great event.
Like we touched on last week.
Course was good.
Brand new course. Did we all enjoy the course?
Yeah,
Loved
course
it.
was great, I thought.
Yeah, brilliant. I thought it was verging on what we talked about in the first episode about the distance debate and having courses where it forces people to take different lines. I thought it was almost sort of at that level.
There's quite a lot of water as well, weren't there?
Yeah,
just a bit, mate. Yeah,
Just
you don't want a floodplain or something.
I thought a really interesting part of that golf course was the green complexes. Very, very tricky, undulating, lots of runoff areas as well. So you saw players hitting really good shots into greens and just rolling off the back edge and filtering away into some really tricky spots. So it made for a really interesting event.
Definitely.
In which we ended up with Colin Morikawa coming out on top.
It was a machine, absolute machine. Did you see that he hit 97% of fairways on day 4?
That's outrageous, that isn't it?
Unbelievable. Under that pressure as well.
Did anyone pick him?
I think we had one
person pick, which we'll come on to in a minute when we go through the results, which is brilliant. But obviously with that win, so Colin Morikawa now becomes only the second person alongside Tiger Woods to have won a major championship and a WGC before the age of 25.
Is that right?
Which is a phenomenal stat. Really, really impressive.
Wow.
You would have thought there'd have been a few more, wouldn't you? You kind of think of people like McIlroy or someone like that, and you'd think there'd be a few more on that list.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so, that's pretty decent company, isn't it?
It's not bad company to keep. Obviously, he's got a long way to go to kind of get to Tiger's level, but it's an impressive start in his career. He's won quite a few big events now in his short PGA Tour career, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do over.
He was impressive. His game on day 4 was just unbelievable. He was hitting frozen ropes. He was pin seeking. He just didn't look like the pressure was getting to him at all. It was really
better shots than DJ was anyway, wasn't
it? So salty about your pick.
A couple of notables really struggled again. I mean, your two favourites, DJ and Bryson.
It's whoever I pick comes out on the worst. He's actually the worst out of everyone. Do you know what I mean?
I think we're going to have to pre-warn the players. If you've picked them, they're probably going to...
I've tried to switch it up this week. You've noticed I'm actually sitting up this time, so I'm paying more attention to the podcast. I'm sitting up straight after I got ridiculed last time. I thought, I'm sitting up.
Didn't you?
Yeah, you had a bit of grief.
This time, it's lucky now. So obviously, if my next selection does well after sitting up, I'm going to have to sit up every week. It can't get any worse than lying down.
It can't get any worse. And I think I'm right in saying you are bottom of our our predictions leaderboard. So
plenty of time left. Still plenty of time.
I mean, there is, but you've got to do some catching up.
Yeah,
Always got to start at the bottom, the little underdog, and then he's going to work all the way up to the top.
Oh, are you going for the it's not how you start, it's how you finish?
Exactly,
yeah.
I mean, it's all right when it suits, isn't it? It's easy to say that when you've had a slow start.
That was the plan. That was always the plan. Well, you should be on -5, but I'm not even going into that topic.
Now, this is a really interesting debate. I mean, it's a debate that I've won, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, I called them wonderful co-hosts. They weren't so wonderful in this moment. They suggested that after my initial pick of Patrick Reed had to withdraw.
Patrick Cantlay, sorry.
I made a second prediction before play started because I knew that he'd withdrew. But for some reason, you two felt like I should automatically receive -5 points.
Well, do you know why he withdrew? And withdrew is a huge word, by the way, in this argument.
That is the key word out of all of these.
Yeah, he wasn't just not playing. It wasn't in his schedule. He withdrew. So that's something to remember. And do you know why he withdrew? He was dehydrated.
Oh, I tell you what, that's
water.
a -5 all day.
That is a serious problem, and dehydration should not be talked about.
Mate, did you see the concession club? There's so much water there. Just jump in a lake and you're right as rain.
1% drop in hydration is a 10% drop in performance, Matt. So just think about it like that.
Look, at the end of the day, you really can't give me -5 points for somebody that hasn't even pegged it up. -5 is for somebody that misses the cut. There wasn't even a cut in the event, so your argument was blown out of the water. But anyway, we put it on an Instagram poll. We left it to the people on your request as well. And what can I say? The people of Matt's
family decided that, oh, hang on a second.
Hang on. You two voted against me yourselves. So 2 of those votes against.
Yeah, but you've created 10 extra Instagram accounts just to you should get a second chance.
Bottom line is, I got a second pick. I went with Justin Thomas. He scored me 4 points. I'm happy. And on that note, Simon, do you want to run through the scores for that week? And where people are sitting at this moment in time?
Yeah, we had some really, really good picks. It has been absolute pandemonium, to be fair, in our group chat because of your second choice. Okay, so we had Victoria Mallet go straight in for it and pick Morikawa.
Impressive.
Absolutely unbelievable shout. Really, really good pick to start the week off.
That's 2 in 2 weeks now. We've had 2 people pick the winner, haven't we?
Yeah, so it's Andrew Cameron first week.
Yeah.
And now we've got Victoria as well, who's picked Morikawa. Julie Deakin, Carly Lewis both got 8 points. They picked Hovland and Koepka. Both had really, really solid weeks.
Nice.
You picked Justin Thomas after you picked someone else.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Dale Housden, Andrew Cameron, Tim Hodson, John, Paul Chetwynd and Ricer, and Ryan Brooks, all got 4 points. With picking Tyrrell Hatton, Will Zalatoris, which, by the way, what a season he's having to start things off.
Very impressive.
Unbelievable player.
Looks like a good player,
yeah. We had quite a few Matt Fitzpatricks in there from Tim and John, Cameron Smith from Paul, and then Abraham Answer as well from Ryan Brooks. And then 2 points each, unfortunately, for myself, Tom and John Till. Me and John picked Xander Schauffele and Tom picked Dustin, who had an absolute shocker. So there was some really, really good picks. Yeah. And I mean, if we go over and just have a quick peek at the combined leaderboard now and see how the standings are going after you've cheated this week, Matt. So we've got Victoria and Andrew at the top. They've got 14 points each.
Okay.
Dale and Carly sitting on 12. John Till and Beth Lewis on 10. Yourself, Adam Johnson and John Lee all on 8 points. Charlie Camper on 6 points. Myself, Paul Chetwynd, John and Ricer on 4 points. Julie Deakin on 3. Rich Sharon Jones on 2. Ryan Brooks and Tim Hodson on -1. And then bringing up the rear in dead last, -3 points. We said last week we can't wait for you to be on -3. And here you are on -3.
So good.
Lovely Tom Palmer.
This feeling is
next week. I told you I'm sitting upright. I've got the good look going. My guy's going to win as well, like guaranteed. I reckon.
Yeah. Next week we'll be going. Look, I'm standing up. I'm on my roof.
Yeah,
I've got the good luck
Gonna be
going.
right up there. The higher I can go, the better.
I'm just realizing that. Did you hear that song? That was a guarantee.
Another guarantee. We've had a couple of so far.
Because the guy that I'm picking this week, he's got it. Trust me.
I'm pretty sure those were your exact words last week.
I think that's what he said every week.
Yeah.
Because at some point he's bound to get lucky and it's going to come true. But until then, we're just going to enjoy.
Yeah, but can you imagine how insufferable it's going to be
when
that
it
actually
does come true?
happens?
Get ready.
I think we won't record a podcast that week. We'll just skip it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a bye week.
He'll record his own. He'll just be on his own.
Yeah. He probably will. Oh dear. Well, I think it's really important for us to touch on our main topic this week, which is a slightly sadder topic regarding Tiger Woods and the terrible crash that he had last Tuesday. Obviously, he was actually the host at the Genesis the previous week. As far as I'm aware, I think he'd stayed in LA to do some recording with, essentially he was teaching some celebrities how to play golf. I'd seen that he'd spent some time with Dwayne Wade and a few others, and I think they'd done a full day of shooting on Monday, and he was actually traveling to the course on Tuesday when the crash occurred. I mean, seeing the pictures of the car.
Do we know what actually happened then, Matt?
At the moment, it's still a little bit unclear. I think so far the police have cleared him from any charges related to alcohol or drugs, so it's nothing sinister in that view. Yeah. I think they're waiting to see if there's anything regarding whether he was distracted whilst driving or anything like that. So those details are still becoming a little bit more clear, and we're still waiting for a bit more kind of advice on that. But
he was alone in the car, wasn't he? There wasn't anyone.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, he was the only passenger in the car. So yeah, I mean, terrible incident. Suffered some really bad injuries, open fractures to his tibia, fibula, as well as some more injuries to his foot and his ankle, which he's had to have rods, screws, pins in surgery the following day, which we're told has gone well. So he's in recovery now, and I think it was really nice to see the players this week on Sunday. A lot of them wearing the classic Tiger Red on Sunday to show their support. That was really nice to see. I think, it's really difficult to know what's going to happen from this point moving forward. Yet to be seen whether, if he's going to be able to come back from this again. But I mean, Tiger's somebody that, for particularly of our generation, really changed the game, changed the sport. I mean, I know from my point of view, he's pretty much the reason why I started playing golf. Just interested for you two, what are your kind of first memories of Tiger, or your fondest memories or best shot that you remember from Tiger? I'll come to you first, Sam.
So, I mean, it is one of those ones. I think everyone who sort of got into golf and caught the bug has gone through that stage of just getting ridiculously excited to play golf. Like, on the night time, you just can't wait to get on the tee the next day. And I think that he's a huge part of that. Just the crowds and how everyone follows him and just how big he made the game. I mean, just talk to industries about it, golf shops, pro shops everywhere. I mean, as soon as Tiger came on the scene, that was the biggest boom that they'd had in sales for years probably since they came out with the steel head drivers and woods. So, I mean, he had a huge influence on the game, not just in motivating people to play, but in retail and getting sales for places and making shops, sort of tick along. But for me, one of my best memories of him is more recently, actually, rather than later on. Was at the WGC in Mexico when he was in that bunker. He's got to go round those trees, hit like a 60-yard slice out of the bunker. He's done the little windmill finish on it. He's hit this 60-yard slice. It's pitched on the left-hand side of the green, spun unbelievable amounts down the slope to about 6 foot away from the pin.
Yeah.
And I'm not too sure there's many people in the world that could pull off that shot.
Yeah, that was class shot too.
I mean, at the time, I think the commentator said that's Tiger the artist, and that is
for sure
the only way to explain that shot. You're right that it's difficult to imagine somebody else being able to pull up, even see that shot, let alone pull it off. Just incredible. Tom, what about yourself?
I think mine's got to be that chip in at the Masters, hasn't it? I mean,
iconic.
I think that's got to be the biggest Tiger Woods shot ever. Do you know what I mean? The way it just last roll and then it just drops. Yeah, I think that it's got to be, hasn't it? I mean, he's aiming in a completely wrong direction to where the hole is. I don't think you can't really see on the TV all the slopes and stuff like that. But
it was the 16th at the Masters, wasn't it? That one.
Yeah. I think it will be. It's one of those ones that aiming massively to the left-hand side and judging the amount of break on that chip. He's just crazy. It's not like he's got a perfect lie either. He's got a tricky lie.
Yeah.
He hits that chip shot and it just literally last roll drops in, and then it's all the roar of the crowd and obviously commentators going crazy. I think
it's one of those ones as well that he could have looked like a complete idiot, and you've just got to be fearless to play it.
Yeah, he's always not worrying about the shot, isn't it? And having pure confidence that you're going to pull it off every single time.
Yeah.
But it was unreal.
Didn't it roll in as well with the Nike logo? Like, the Nike logo stuff.
The Nike symbol as well.
Yeah, the perfect marketing tool for Nike was created in that moment.
They literally can't make
just
a better
as the
advert.
ball rolled over. Could not have worked any better for them. I think for me, I'm with you on that one, Tom. The chip shot at the Masters definitely sticks in my mind. And then I think there's a couple of putts that really stick out for me. I mean, Tiger's probably known as the all-time great in terms of clutch putting, holding putts when he had to. So I think the US Open at Torrey Pines 2008, the birdie putt on 18 to force the playoff with I forget his name, Rocco Mediate.
Yeah, such an important putt as well. Yeah,
just incredible. I still to this day don't know how the ball caught the right lip and went in. I remember staying up and watching that putt and just thinking, you could hit that putt 1,000 times over and it would lip out 999 times. It's ridiculous.
You know, there's an old quote from Jack Nicklaus as well, and he said that when he's in the zone and he's playing, he could hit the putt. He doesn't even need to look up because he knows that the hole's going to move to wherever the ball is, and that's almost the same sort of thing.
Yeah, the hole got in the way of the ball.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible. And then actually, looking ahead to obviously we've got the Arnold Palmer next week. Another putt that really sticks out in my mind is the famous putt he held on 18 to beat, I think it was Sean O'Hare, and he takes his cap off and slams it on the ground. Yeah. That putt, that's like goosebumps every time you watch that one. Incredible.
He loved that place. He dominated at that place, didn't he? Unbelievable.
Yeah, brilliant record at Arnie's event. Just absolutely superb. But I mean, we did have a question from one of our listeners, Louis Sands. We touched on it a minute ago, and he basically asked, "Do we think that this is a career-ending injury for Tiger?" So I'm not sure, Tom. What are your thoughts?
It just depends how bad the injury is, doesn't it? I suppose it's hard to tell at the moment, but I suppose it's going to take him a while to get back into it in the first place. And then obviously, is it going to affect anything in the long run? It's so hard to tell at the moment. Obviously, I saw a lot of the players and stuff saying about just being able to see his kids and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? As a big bonus as it is. But obviously, hopefully he can get back playing. Will he get to the top of his game again? Potentially, but it's going to take a long time, isn't it? I think so. It depends how bad the injuries are.
Yeah. Do you share that thought, Simon?
Yeah, I do share that thought. And to be honest, I was of that exact opinion as well. And I got talking to a few people about it. One of them said that he wants to, one of the things that he said in interviews is that he wants to be the only person ever to win all forms of like a major. So like the junior US Open and the amateur and then the US Open, and he wants to go for the senior as well. And he'd be the only person to do that. Right. And he said that, he doesn't care how long it takes for him to do it. And I mean, you look at these players who get on the seniors tour, and when they first get on, all the big names make a huge impact as soon as they get there. I mean, you look at Phil, as soon as he's gone onto the seniors tour, he's absolutely torn it up, and it's incredible. And you can just imagine Tiger doing the same thing. So I think no matter what it takes, how much, PT he's got to do and physiotherapy, I think he'll get back out there because he still has got that fire and he still wants something.
Yeah, he'll still want to be competitive, won't he? No matter what happens, I think he'll still definitely be playing. I think it'll just be a case of how good he can get.
I think, and this is the thing, I think, look, Tiger is the ultimate competitor. I don't think there's anyone can really argue that there's not really ever been a golfer, and there may well not be another one like him in terms of when he's in the zone, and he's just so competitive, just so driven. It gives every shot 100% attention, 100% concentration. And I think for me, I really want to believe that he can come back again and find some form and win tournaments and do all those things that we've just talked about. I guess the flip side is we've got to remember that, he's 45. He'd only just come back he just had another back surgery, which I think is his 5th back surgery. This guy's had more injuries and more comebacks than 5 golfers combined, 5 careers worth of injuries and comebacks. There's part of me that's just not sure whether he's going to want to do it all again, all the rehab and everything that goes with that comeback. It's so much for one person to go through. I find it hard to believe. You touched on it a minute ago. An important thing is that he's alive and he's there with his kids. Is this going to be a moment where he goes, "Do you know what? I don't want to put my body through all this again. I just want to be normal and do normal things with my kids." And obviously Charlie's showing really good signs of being a good golfer. Argument to say that Tiger could just focus on Charlie and try and help him with his development.
Yeah, for sure.
And look, I don't think anybody could blame him.
No.
I think time will tell, won't it? Time will tell.
He's been through so much. So I hope I'm wrong. I really hope he can find another comeback and win tournaments, even majors. But you're right, Tom. Only time will tell. So we'll have to see. And I think now's a really good time, actually. So that was a brilliant question there from one of our listeners. And I think we've had some more really good questions this week.
We have, yeah. So first of all, Carly Lewis has asked the question, what is your worst or most comical shot on the golf course? So go on then, Matt. Tell us your worst or most comical shot.
Brutal.
Oh, now there's been a few. I've been playing this game quite a long time now, so I mean, there's plenty to choose from. I think the one that I'll go with, and there's probably worse shots that I've hit, but this one just sticks in my mind. I was playing a county match for Staffordshire, and it was in the morning. So with the county, you play doubles, foursomes in the morning, and then singles in the afternoon. So this was in the morning in the foursomes, and I was actually partnered with good friend of mine and great golfer from Drayton Park, Jack Gaunt. It was you've both played Trentham, haven't you? In Stoke.
Yeah.
So the par 5 14 on the back 9, dog leg left. So I'm on the tee, so I've got the evens. And it was one of those days where, I mean, Tom, you've played enough golf. I'd got like one of the worst cases of the hooks I think I've ever had.
Captain hook over it.
I can't remember what the score was in the match at the time. I think we were a combination of some good recovery play from Jack and a relatively hot putter from me. It kind of kept us in the game. I think
so Jack had a really sore back from carrying you around. Yeah, he carried you the entire way.
It was one of those moments you're looking at your partner. We have this rule where you don't apologise to your partner in foursomes, but I was just looking at him. I just wanted to say sorry because every tee shot, I was just putting him in the left trees every single time. And I've hit the biggest snap hook off that tee. I mean, there's trees all the way down the left-hand side, isn't there? and it's gone into those trees so quickly. It had no flight to it at all. And I've just looked over at him, and he's just got this look of despair, as if to say, again, like, really, again. I've never, and I think at that moment I said, look, I know we've got a rule where you don't apologise, but I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just couldn't stop hooking it. Ironically, I actually played a lot better in the afternoon. I've managed to straighten it out, but that morning,
happy about
that. One of the worst displays of driving I've ever put on a golf course. And yeah, I just really felt for Jack in that moment. It was awful.
We all have those days, mate. We all have those days.
So yeah, that's got to be mine. That's mine.
Right then, Si, what's yours then?
Oh god, mine was terrible. It still haunts me to one of these days. It'll be one of them things that you lie in bed, you think you're going to sleep, and then your brain will go, remember that time that you did this? And then you're awake for another 3 hours with cold sweats. So par 4 is one of our local courses, Maxstoke. And it's the 5th hole, I think. So you both know it. Big dogleg right with the tree there. So you've basically got to hit quite a big.
Yes, I do know which one it is. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 4th. No, 4th. I think it is, not 5th. But anyway, you've got to hit a big slice basically, or go over this big tree.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was playing quite well. And the tee box is on tiers, so like there's one tier and then it sort of slopes down. And we were sort of at the back of this tier, so there's a little bit of a slope still there, which I hadn't even noticed. It wasn't even on my radar.
Okay.
And so I thought, right, I don't really want to hit a big slice. I'm going to go over this tree. I'm going to try and hit it as high as I can, as hard as I can, and just see what happens. And I mean, there's OB all the way up the left, and there's just trees right. So you've got to get it right.
Yeah.
So I was stood there, and I thought, right, let's try and get underneath this one, get it up a little bit high. Swung back, absolutely gone for it. Hit the slope that's behind me, which is about 2 foot behind the ball. Bounced up and topped it about a yard in front of me.
Oh man!
And where that tee box is, there's people over the way, about 10 yards away, who are watching. There's people walking down the first. There's people on the third green as well. And it's one of those where you just sort of look at the ground, look at your club, and try not to cry.
Who were you playing with?
Oh, so it was just a few good friends of mine, and we were lucky to get paired together, and it was So I got.
Was it in a comp?
Absolutely, yeah, it was in a competition. Yeah, I got absolutely ripped to shreds.
What did you make on the hole in the end?
So I think my head rolled down the fairway further than my ball did. So I think I ended up making an 8. So there's 7 or an 8.
Solid like 8, mate. Solid 8. That.
Yeah, solid 8. It was not a good day.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That is painful.
What about you, Tom?
What about you, Tom? Yeah. You've got to have a good one. You've got to have a good one.
I've had a few. I'm going to go with... Right, Little Aston. We play the 36-hole event there. I think it's like individual stroke play or something.
Yeah, like start of the season, like April time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 36-hole comp. So first round, you want a nice solid round of golf, don't you? I mean, you never want to start off shooting 12 over or 14 over on your first round.
No, it's a long day.
Even be in your mind. Yeah. But at the same time, first round, I'm playing really good. I get to a par 5. It might be like the 7th or something like that. I don't know which one it is. There's water all down the left-hand side. I can't remember what hole it is. You hit your drive. Your second shot's got water all down the left, and then there's the green.
Oh no! So that's
is it further on.
12.
All right, 12. So I'm playing really
good.
You
weren't far away, mate. Just 5
I think I might even be level par at this point. Thinking, no, I'm playing pretty solid. That's the one. Give myself loads of opportunities. Yeah, get in there. And then what happens, I think, you know what? I'm going to go deep today. I'm feeling really good. I'm going deep. Hit a great drive down there. Second shot, pull the hybrid out, dunk it in the water. This isn't the best part. I take a drop. I've got like a 20-yard shot, haven't I? Obviously, just a little chip over the water. All you got to do, little one, just nice little one. What happens? Fat it, dunked it in the water. Honest to God, my face was just a picture. The worst part about it, took another drop, did it again.
No.
So, honestly, finally got the next one out. Managed to chip it on the green. One of the
So
little,
hold on.
little yippy
What were
one.
you dropping for there?
I went one good drive, 2 into the water, drop 3, 4 into the water, drop 5, 5 into the water.
No, 6 into the water, drop 7.
Whatever it was outrageous. Ended up making like, I think it was like a 10 or something like this on this par 5.
Double digits.
And I just remember thinking back, like, that, I think that has got to be one of my worst shots in golf, because it just destroyed me. And
that was a full-on Jordan Spieth moment.
Yeah, it was pretty much Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth did. And obviously then, that was my first round of golf. I still had another 18 holes to play after. So obviously it was a nice, enjoyable day for me.
That's a long day after doing something like that.
Not the best.
Really tough to come back from.
But it's one of them. Moved on. A lot better now. So positives.
Right. Focus on the positives.
Loads of positives there. Loads of positives. So we've got another question as well.
Okay.
This is from Julie Deakin, and she's asked, "What is your favourite course, or one that you would most like to play, or Andrew, one that you'd most like to play?"
Great question.
Good question.
Right. Let's start with Matt then. Well, actually, no. Actually, we'll start with Simon.
Okay.
You went first last time.
Okay.
Let's start then first.
Okay.
So my favourite course is Lytham St Anne's. I absolutely love that course.
I've not played there.
We go and play it pretty much every year.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be brutal.
That place is brutal.
Yeah, it can be brutal. But it's just so immaculate and so pure and a proper links test of golf. Absolutely love it. So that's my favourite course. And in terms of one that I want to play is just Augusta. All day, every day. Get me to the Masters. Yeah, unbelievable. Would love to play it.
No, that's
Matt.
a fair comment. I find this really hard because
so many top courses over my professional career.
I mean, I'd love to shoot 80 anywhere.
Do you know, I wasn't even going to say that. I was going to say I've got golf courses that I've really enjoyed, and then golf courses that I think are brilliant from a design point of view. So like Lytham, I absolutely love. But my experience of that is playing it in the Lytham Trophy, and it's just brutal. When the wind's blowing and the rough's up, it's just...
Yeah.
It's hard to enjoy playing round Lytham because it's just such a tough test of golf. You just have to be so mentally switched on. So, like, for me, it's a favourite course that I always enjoy playing. So, I've probably got 2, to be fair. I know this is cheating, but whatever.
Again, Patrick Reader podcast coming up. Cheating again.
Patrick Reader
podcast.
-5.
Unbelievable. So one of them is going to be Notts Golf Club, also known as Hollingwell. Had a love affair with that place from the first time I went there. I absolutely love that golf course. Just stunning. And the other one is a links course. I love links golf. And there's a great golf course down in Deal, Kent, called Royal Cinque Ports. Right next to Prince's and Royal St George's. Great bit of golf coastline there, but it's just a really enjoyable links golf course. It's just so fun to play. Always enjoy playing there. So those 2, and then same as Simon, really. Ones that I want to play. Augusta's got to be top of that list, and Royal Portrush is just behind it.
Keep going, Matt. Keep listing them all up.
I could keep going. I could do an entire.
Who's going to win the next? Who's going to win next week? Oh, I'll just have.
Tom, I could do an entire podcast on my favourite golf courses and ones that I want to play. I really, really could. So
you'll literally cheat at anything, wouldn't you? The Patrick Reader podcast.
I don't like this tagline that you're throwing on me. I'm not happy about it.
I've got to be honest. The lads that I talked to were very unhappy that you got a second choice. And when I told them that you'd won the poll, the one lad, Tim, came back and said, "Well, to be fair, Patrick Reed got away with cheating as well." So...
Wow. Incredible. Well,
so if we can just edit his name to be Patrick Reed, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Great. Look, the important thing to remember is I was right and everybody else was wrong, but we'll move on. It's fine. So, Tom, what about your favourite course?
Right, favourite course for me has got to be the Berkshire. I think I do like the Berkshire. It is a very, very nice course. Yeah, it's a good course. You play with me there as well, haven't you, Matt?
I haven't played there yet.
Have you not?
No.
I thought you went with me.
No, I think
We all might have organised it, and then you didn't.
We organised it, and then I don't know if there was an event came up or something, but no,
I do really like the Berkshire. I think that's probably it's definitely one of my favourite courses. It's down in London way, I think it is. But yeah, it was really, really good. I like that course. Lots of like pink heather just off the fairway, and it's just really, really manicured really
nice
well.
Course.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's unreal. And the course that I would like to play, I think, is Kings Barnes. I do really want to go and play Kings Barnes. I don't know if either of you played there, but
no.
Obviously I've always wanted to go play it. It's right next to the sea. I think it'd be, and I've heard really good things about it. So that'd be my course I'd most like to play.
I think that's a really good choice, to be fair.
Yeah, it was nice that you only did one of each as well. Like
I know as well, just the one. Obviously, like the question said, what was your favourite course? Not courses, course.
Yeah, it's like you can't make a decision.
Like to, go outside the lines a little bit, think outside the box. You two are just too much in your lane. You got to be a bit rebellious sometimes.
Yeah, in your lane or following the rules.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not cheating.
The rules, yeah.
As well, what we're going to say as well is that people should send their messages in, shouldn't they? Like, if anyone's got any more questions and stuff, make sure to email us in. It's at podcasts at what is it again? What is it?
Unbelievable.
Tom, have another go. What's our email, Tom? We've only talked about it every week.
Yeah, we've said it every week.
Listen at live podcasts.
Oh no.
No, it's not listen.
You're getting further away.
All right, yeah. Go on, Matt. Tell him the email.
It's
putting it straight at podcast.com.
Oh, you're getting closer.
Putting it straight podcast@gmail.com.
I mean, like, podcast.com isn't a thing, but you were close.
That's a good point.
Dear me. To make it easy for everyone, we'll leave the email address kind of in the link so that you've all got it there. So don't listen to Tom, otherwise you'll be emailing the wrong person. But I think it's brilliant. We had so much interaction this week, and it's important to say, if we haven't answered your question this week, we have got quite a few to get through. We will get them into future podcasts. We've just got to spread them out a little bit. Otherwise, I think we could do 2 hours worth on all the questions that we've got. So we'll save some of the other ones for another week. So the last kind of section we've got for this podcast then is looking ahead to the next event on the PGA Tour for our next predictions game, which is the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. Another brilliant event, iconic venue. Really, really, really looking forward to this one. So let's go straight into it. We'll start with Simon. Who have you gone for this week?
So this week, a little bit of a wild card, actually. So I've gone for Mark Leishman. He's not shown the best form, but if you listen to any of the tour players, Lee Westwood, look at him chuckling at the bottom there. -3, mate.
Tom, you can't laugh. You can't laugh at this point.
Yeah, too fair.
But yeah, if you listen to any of the tour players talk about him, they all say how much of a player he is. And I mean, he's shown some unbelievable form in the past. He's a previous winner at Bay Hill, and he's come runner-up as well recently in the past sort of few years or so. So he likes the place. He had a pretty solid week this week. I mean, it wasn't really anything to write home about. He shot 1 under, I think. So he's sort of tied 39th or 40th, something like that. But still a solid week around a course which was quite tough and probably quite similar to Bay Hill, really. A lot of water. There's lots of holes where the water's in play. You've got to find certain parts of fairways and you've got to be on your game. So I think he could stand a good shot.
It's an interesting one. I think Leishman is one of those players, I think 2 seasons ago, had a really strong season. I think he won a FedEx playoff event and a few other big ones. And for a year or 18 months, he was really, really solid. Got off the boil a little bit in the last 6 months. So perhaps starting to find a little bit of form and make his way back. So, yeah, I think you're right. It's a little bit of a dark horse, a bit of an outsider. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. What about yourself, Tom?
Well, I can't afford to go for any outsiders with my current situation I've got on the -3 points.
Well, maybe you should, because you've gone for two of the best players in the world and that's not worked for you. So maybe you should pick an outsider.
Nah, going Rory McIlroy. I think this is going to be the week Rory starts to come into form. He's going to start winning. Played pretty well. There was glints of good stuff that he went on
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
I
did
think
play solid.
Rory
He
this
played
week.
solid. You've literally just Googled who are the best people at golf.
Best
And you've
365,
got
like,
Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, and now Rory McIlroy.
I think
yeah,
what
but
he's
it hasn't
doing,
helped me so far, has it really?
he's
No,
just
not at
working his way down the world rankings until someone wins.
It's outrageous. No, I do think Rory is going to win this week.
I think, in all honesty, I think he stands a great shout. He's winner there in
Thank
the
you.
past. He's obviously
Yeah,
confident.
he won. Was it 2 years ago? He won at Bay Hill. 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
ago?
maybe
It was
three
yeah.
now. 2018 was it? I think maybe.
He's got form there, and like you say, he has played. He played well at the WGC. A little bit of a culprit on the last day, I think, but I mean, it pains me to say it, but yeah, it's a good.
It's a good selection.
It's a good selection this week. It's one that I can see coming off for you. I mean, I hope it doesn't, and that's nothing
I
against
hope it
Rory,
does. All the viewers back at home, I hope you think, you know what, Tom's got a good selection this week. I'm going to
just
be
hope
back
it doesn't, so
Rory
that
as
you're
well.
standing up next week.
Yeah, I'm going to be up here. You're not even going to see my face.
Well, for me this week, I mean, Simon, I'm pretty sure you will have heard of him. Tom, with your lack of knowledge, I don't even know if you will have heard of this player.
Does he come up on a Google search of the best players at golf?
Probably not. Not in the
You
top
won't know him,
5 or
anyway.
10 hits. So he's not going to know him. But I've gone for Sunjay Im.
The Byron.
He is. I really like watching him play golf. There you go. So point proven. I knew you wouldn't know who he is.
I've never even heard of him.
Dear me, you need to watch more golf, Tom. You really need to watch more golf. What's he done? Well, he was third last year at the Arnold Palmer, so he likes that golf course. He's played well the last couple of weeks, shown a little bit of form.
He had a great Masters as well, didn't he? A little bit longer ago.
Really good Masters, yeah. And the thing with Sunjay Im is he probably plays more events than anybody else on tour. He'd play every week if he could.
Yeah.
So he doesn't seem to fatigue. He'll turn up every week and play. But he loves playing golf in Florida. He's got a brilliant record on the Florida swing. Brilliant ball striker, which is really important at Arnold Palmer. I think, like I said, it's going to be a similar test with the water, and the green's going to be quick.
Yeah.
I think the main difference this week is the fairways are going to be a lot tighter, and the rough is probably a little bit thicker at Bay Hill than what we saw last week. So ball striking is going to be of paramount importance. So I'm really looking for him to have a strong week. So yeah, that's my pick.
He's done his homework here. He wants this, you know. He wants this.
No, I'll tell you what, outrageous.
Well, I've noticed that my girlfriend is beating me in the first 2 weeks, so I've got to.
You've cheated as well.
Yeah.
No, I haven't
always
cheated.
less than what you got. More than that.
No cheating going on.
There's a 9-point swing here, so.
Yeah.
9 points.
Behave
yourself. I told you before, you can't have -5 in an event where there's no cut. If you wanted to push for me not getting a second pick, you should have said, "Oh, you don't get any points." But
if there's no cut, then surely every player gets paid, but those that withdraw don't get paid.
Tom, sorry, you're really missing one key bit of information, and
what's that?
I'm going to out you here live on the podcast because I feel like it's the only way to kind of tie this up.
Okay.
In our group chat on the WhatsApp, you admitted that if it was the other way around, you would have got a second pick. So the point is,
anyone could see that's a joke. Anyone could see that's a joke.
Look, this is done. The people have spoken. You even admitted that you'd want the second pick. This is done. This is
more people on the Instagram, don't we?
People, Matt Fields,
more people on the Instagram, and then it would have been a fair poll.
Look, that Instagram account, and we've got to touch on this, by the way. I only set that Instagram account up on, I think it was Tuesday night before the last episode went out. And the response to the podcast has been incredible. We've already gone over 600 followers on that account already. So for everybody that has followed us on Instagram, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
If you haven't, get following.
Yeah, if you haven't, then go and do it now. And Twitter, and of course go to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like the video, everything that goes with that. We really need your support. But everything so far has been brilliant. But I mean, that wraps up this week. Been a really enjoyable podcast again.
Yeah, loved it again, mate.
I'm looking forward to next week already. Hopefully, Tom is maybe lying on.
I'm going to be in positive numbers next week.
Lying on the floor.
I can't bear it if you have a good week, Tom. I really can't.
You wait.
So we'll wait and see what happens at Bay Hill. I'm sure. I was going to say I'm sure we'll all be watching. Me and Simon will watch, and Tom will tell you what happens.
I'll watch some of it, depending on how well my player's getting on. If Rory's doing well, I'll watch it.
There you go. But until next week, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Like we just said, please go and follow us on all the social media platforms and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we will see you next week. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Here it comes. Oh my goodness. In your life have you seen anything like that? There it is. A win for the ages.